Greenland does not want to be governed by the United States. Greenland does not wish to become a part of the United States.
We select the Greenland we know today,
and which is a part of the Kingdom of Denmark.
We are now facing a geopolitical crisis, and if we are to choose between the US and Denmark at this very moment.
So we choose Denmark.
We choose NATO. We choose the Kingdom of Denmark. We choose the European Union.
Greenland said today, we prefer to stay with Denmark. You see that as the premier of Greenland.
Well, that's their problem. That's their problem. I disagree with him. I don't know who he is. Don't know anything about him. But that's going to be a big problem for him.
U.S. President Donald Trump has once again put Greenland at the center of a growing geopolitical dispute. In a post on Truth Social, Trump said the United States needs Greenland for national security, calling the Arctic island vital to what he described as America's future missile defense architecture. He argued that NATO would be stronger with Greenland under U.S. control, warning that Russia or China could otherwise gain influence in the region. Trump said anything short of U.S. ownership of Greenland would be unacceptable. His comments came a day after Greenland Prime Minister said his country chose Denmark over the U.S., while the Danish Prime Minister said it had not been easy to stand up against completely unacceptable pressure from our closest ally. The hardest part now lies ahead of us.
Greenland and Denmark had to handle quite an unfamiliar and difficult situation. We will succeed together. We have taken the initiative to further strengthen security in the Arctic. We have tightened the ties between us in the kingdom, and we have built even closer alliances with partners and allies around the world. It has not been easy to stand up against completely unacceptable pressure from our closest allies through a generation, but much simultaneously suggests that the hardest part now lies ahead of us. And it has become increasingly clear that even though it is primarily the Greenlanders who feel the insecurity, and even though we and the entire Commonwealth have had to endure many insults, there is something much more fundamental at stake. This is not just about Greenland or the kingdom. It is about the principle that borders should not be changed. You cannot buy other people. It is about ensuring that small countries should not fear large countries. That is why we are clearly speaking out, and that is why many allies are doing the same in the Nordic countries, in Europe, and elsewhere in the world. We stand up not only for ourselves, but for the world order that the generations before us have built our democracy upon. Tomorrow, Greenland and Denmark will meet with the USA. We come together, we stay together, and we walk together. We welcome dialogue and we welcome cooperation. We do not seek any conflict. But our message is clear. Greenland is not for sale. We have made this clear from the start, just as we have from the beginning of all this told the Americans that if it is about security, there is much more we can and should do together. And we will also repeat this at the meeting tomorrow. Because of course, we want to strengthen cooperation on Arctic security with the USA, with NATO, with Europe, and with the Arctic states in NATO. And just as the Baltic countries, for example, are not alone in defending NATO's eastern flank against Russia, because it is precisely a common concern for the entire alliance, the same applies in the Arctic. NATO must protect and defend Greenland just as much as any other inch of NATO's territory. And that security guarantee is the best defense against China or Russia as a threat in the Arctic. Dear Greenlanders, you must know that we stand together. We do so today, we will do so tomorrow, and we will continue to do so. And with those words, the floor is yours, Jens Frederick.
We have no intention of becoming American. It is not something we have aimed for, worked for, but we have worked towards more collaboration with Americans for many, many years. We are an American ally. but we do not see ourselves as becoming Americans. We are quite happy with being part of the Kingdom of Denmark. We feel betrayed. We feel that the rhetoric is offensive, as we have stated many times before, but also bewildering, because we have done nothing but support the notion that the Greenland is a part of the American national affair of interest. We recognize this and have done so for many decades. So we are an ally, and so are Denmark. We are allies of the US, and of course we are bewildered that now I have to have a press conference discussing a possible annexation or selling of Greenland. So for us, this is not something we sought. This is not something I think we deserved. I think we have been good partners. My deepest dream is, or hope is, that the people of Greenland will get a say no matter what. I think we are the ones to have a say in the decision about our own future. And of course, be it being part of America, I think we should have a vote on it. I think we should be able to have a say ourselves in the future of our lives. For others, this might be a piece of land, but for us, it's home.
European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen said Greenland belongs to its people and stressed that the European Union respects the wishes and interests of Greenlanders. She said Greenland can count on European support, not just in words, but in actions.
I want to put all this aside and address the general principle of Greenland, that we look at what are the different debates. So first of all, Greenland belongs to its people. So it's up to Denmark and Greenland, and only to them, to decide on matters that are concerning Denmark and Greenland. That's point number one, and that's very important. We are in constant contact with the Danish government, also to listen to what the needs are, what the needs of the Greenlanders are, in very close contact. Second, Greenland is part of NATO. And when we are speaking about Arctic security, this is one of the core topics of NATO. And we know that the glue between the allies is the fact that there's always the clear motto, one for all for one. So NATO is one forum to integrate the different interests that are out there. But of course, the Arctic and Arctic security is also a matter for the European Union without any question. And we've invested since years in our relationship with Greenland. I was there last year, before all this happened, to open the office in Nuuk so that we have a constant channel of communication with the Greenlanders. We have an investment program. We've stepped up our engagement since last year. We have accelerated our work. So there's a strong and good and existing relationship between the European Union and the Greenlanders. And for me, it's important that the Greenlanders know, and they know this by the deeds, not only by the words, that we respect the wishes of the Greenlanders and their interests, and that they can count on us.
Meanwhile, U.S. Vice President JD Vance is preparing to meet Danish and Greenlandic officials in Washington amid rising diplomatic tension between allies. Greenland, a semi-autonomous territory of NATO member Denmark, has become a focal point of international attention as Trump continues to insist the United States should control the island, refusing to rule out the use of force. In Greenland's capital, Nuuk, residents say the message is clear: the island is not for sale. Greenland's strategic importance has grown as melting Arctic ice opens potential new shipping routes and access to critical minerals needed for modern technology. Trump has cited alleged threats from Russian and Chinese ships as justification for U.S. control. But many Greenlanders reject that claim, saying they have seen no such presence and accusing Trump of exaggerating security concerns to justify territorial ambitions.
I think he should mind his own business.
Why?
What is he going to do with Greenland? He speaks of Russians and Chinese and everything. in Greenlandic waters or in our country. We are only 57,000 people. The only Chinese I see is when I go to the fast food market. So, yeah. And every summer we go sailing and we go hunting, and I never saw Russian or Chinese ships here in Greenland. Security is just a cover-up. They have military installations all over Greenland. They can reopen if they want to, but they're not going to buy us.
And we have always lived in peace with, we know there are ships around the coast from other countries, but we have never ever have any problem with these ships before. And now Donald Trump, he goes here and there and everywhere, and he are a person we all must be afraid for, because there are something wrong with him. He are too much. So I think, what can I do? So I make this paper and go to the police station and give it to the police station, and have hope other people will make the same and make a size under the paper and go to police station, and so we can be so many that can make on this way, so the government can say stop.
I think he's just trying to scare us about saying that Russians and Chinese ships is around Greenland. It's probably not true. I don't believe it. That he has to back off, that he can't just get everything he wants just because he wants his stuff.
As diplomatic meetings continue on both sides of the Atlantic, the dispute has raised uncomfortable questions for NATO unity and for the future of Greenland itself. For now, Greenland's leaders insist their position is unchanged. The island belongs to its people, and its future is theirs to decide.